We've just heard Claudette kind of chatting about this. So we don't really need to say anything. We'll just play it and then we'll leave. No, I'm just kidding. So we hear today, and it did come out like as a breaking news story today. Like no one knew it coming. No one foresaw it. Apparently it was part of the New Zealand First, what they wanted, but no one knew it was going to pop its ugly little head up today. It just popped out, and Erica Stanford went, oh, yep, we're going to do this. We're going to remove all obligations to te tiriti for school boards in New Zealand. Now, you would hope in most instances, in all instances, that it won't make any difference. But what it does mean is if you get you now have the ability for people to get control of the school board and push and further ideologies that are not New Zealand based, that are don't have the kaupapa of who we are and where we all come from. Because even if you're not Māori, if you're part of this land, part of this country, then Māoridom is a part of your story, right? So this is what it does. Oh, yeah, they can. It's a bit like smoke-free. Oh, no, we're still going to try and drive the number of smokers down. Yeah, but you just cancelled the thing that sort of guaranteed it. Oh, they can still keep teaching everything they want to do with, te reo and treaty. Yeah, but you've just cancelled the thing that made them do it, that made it law. This whole bicultural agreement we have in a multicultural country and having to honour that agreement, that whole part of things. Anyhow, let's hear the soon-to-be retired Silver Fox telling us about this story.
In other news, school principals are accusing the Education Minister of caving in to extremists. It comes after her move to take away te tiriti or Waitangi responsibilities from school boards. Erica Stanford introduced a last-minute change to the Education Amendment Bill currently before Parliament. Demelza Leslie reports.
The government says the treaty is the Crown's responsibility, not schools.
We want boards laser focused. Get your kids to school, make sure that they're learning well, make sure that they're safe.
But school boards say they are Crown entities.
I think it's just disappointing that it's being removed.
It's pretty moronic, eh? It's the Crown's responsibility to teach and further te tiriti. Yeah, we're the Crown. You know how we're striking at the moment? Those public servants, the teachers, the Crown. And we are the place that we are charged with educating people. So we are a Crown entity that educates. And you've just said it's the Crown's job to educate people about te tiriti and the obligations to it. But you're potentially stopping the Crown entity charged with educating from doing that education. I see what you did there. I see.
Moved because it's really hard to see why. Many boards have really...
She should just go, it's a dick move. Because really, isn't that the answer? It's a dick move. What's happening?
Because it's really hard to see why. Many boards have really enjoyed the journey of learning about te tiriti and how we can implement it.
What I think the Minister doesn't quite understand is that this is a cultural way of doing things. They are focused on achievement. They are focused on attendance. This doesn't have to be one or the other.
School boards make the big decisions and set the overall direction of a school. Under the current law, they have 4 key objectives: achievement, safety, catering for differing needs, and giving effect to te tiriti, leading schools to adjust their vision and values and build stronger relationships with iwi and hapu.
It's the place that our tamariki, our mokopuna come into. It is the place that educates our society.
But the government thinks it's gone too far.
Now, I'm getting ahead of him. We're hearing from lots of parents. Lots of parents think, this is what he's about to say.
It's anecdotes.
We're hearing from lots of parents, or there are many parents. We'll get the exact word. And then just remember, 1,000 parents is lots of parents. It doesn't really collate, though, when you're looking at 5.5 million people population. So I think the way he describes the people who don't want this is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Have a listen.
It's gone too far.
I think it's fair to say that there's enough parents out there who are tired of...
There's enough parents who are tired about this. There's enough. What is that? What's enough? 7? 70? 700? 7,000? How many is enough to get you to change this legislation to rip obligations to te tiriti away from schools, giving some schools the availability to get rid of it if they want. And remember, this government will then wash its hands. It's like Māori wards. Oh no, we just, it was they voted for it. It's nothing to do with us. We just made the opportunity there for them to vote. They voted for it, and it's the same. Well, we're not saying schools don't have to do it, but we're just making it available to those ones that don't want to do what is obligated to them under te tiriti at the moment. Oh, but we didn't force anyone to change. It's democratic, and they chose to change. Right.
Parents out there who are tired of feeling like their kid's school has become an eternal marae visit.
Principals say students want to connect with the language.
I have to say, I've had kids that have gone through primary schools, 3 of them in the last sort of 10 years or so. I suspect maybe they visit a marae once a year.
No, it's constant. It's constant.
Maybe.
The childless man says that it's constant. He couldn't possibly be lying. It must be true. Maybe there's some sort of official Information Act request that could be made about who he's talking to and what school is doing a constant, endless visit to a marae.
Very good.
To connect with the language and culture.
These are extremists who have obviously got the ear of the minister. The announcement this morning, she mentioned the Hobson Pledge. And, that really concerns me, that worries me, that their views are now becoming government policy.
The Education Minister says she's not interested in politics when it comes to education.
I don't listen to what the Principals Federation have to say. They've long railed against everything that I've done.
I don't listen to what the Principals Federation has to say. They've long railed against everything I've had to say. So the educational experts disagree with me, so I am not going to listen to them. I'm going to wipe them off the floor. They're going to go. They're out of my view. I'm not going to listen to them because they say what I do is dumb. The educational experts, the people who are charged, the government entity that is charged with teaching our children are telling you what you're doing is wrong, and your response is, oh, maybe these experts know something I don't. Your response is, I'm not going to talk to them anymore. La.
Enormously on brand. Nobody wants to talk to the unions. Nobody wants to talk to researchers. No one wants to talk to anybody who knows anything about the area that these people are supposedly the minister for. This is insane.
And as an aside, I have emailed Erica Stanford's office tonight requesting an interview for tomorrow. We'll see how that doesn't pan out.
Listen to what the Principals Federation have to say. They've long railed against everything that I've done.
Labor calling the changes an overreach.
This government seems to be allergic for anything Māori. This will have a detrimental impact for not only our tauira Māori, but all students.
The government says school boards will still have the choice to teach as much tikanga and te reo Māori as they like. The difference being they won't be forced to do it. Demelza Leslie, One News.
Well, they'll have the choice to keep the Māori wards if they want, but you're providing the framework for Māori wards to go. You're providing the framework for obligations to te tiriti to go. So you're opening the door and you're going, well, if some of them walk through, that's up to them, but you've unlocked and opened the door. You have responsibility. Sorry, Chewie.
It's all about chipping away at the work that has been done over the previous decades. Like, if these guys want to stare down the barrel of the camera and at any point talk about division in our society, and racial issues in our society, and it all comes back to the treaty and that sort of thing, start with the generation that's at school.
Yeah.
And have them learn about the country that they live in and the cultures that they will interact with. Like, it just baffles me that they want to wash all of that away. One of the most amazing things that I remember seeing here in Dunedin a few years back was seeing one of the local schools have a group of kids singing Christmas carols or some sort of performance in the mall and that sort of thing. But they were bouncing around between different languages, te reo, English, there was a couple of other foreign languages and that sort of thing, but they were all,
Not foreign.
all these kids.
Foreign?
The overseas ones. I didn't understand what they were. But that class, that group of children, were all learning from each other.
Yeah.
What a horrible, nightmarish vision for the future. I bet when David Seymour just felt that something was up when they were practicing, woke up in a cold, slimy little sweat. Other cultures learning from each other? Not on my watch.
There's the disturbance in my force. I don't know what's happening. No.
I found some school books from Victorian England, and we're all going to learn from this. Because the European way is the superior way. This shit just annoys me because these guys are operating a vision of the future of this country that I fundamentally reject.
Do you know what's difficult to think about? And this is a bit depressing, and I'm sorry. Let's put some faith in the left of politics to fix all of this. How bloody long is that going to take? Do I need to read that list again? I mean, could they even fix all the stuff that these guys have torn down? These guys have basically IDF bombed anything to do with Māori within the system. So it's all a rubble on the ground at the moment and needs to first be cleaned up before it's even rebuilt. You know, how long will it take those 12 or 13 or 14 things I read out? How many times will a left-leaning pro-government have to get in to actually rebuild those foundations into something what they were 2 years ago? Shocking.
Well, I mean, there's a danger in that, right? Because, what I want is the government to come in and go, hey, remember that time the country had a fucking gas leak? And we had 3 years of just absolute misery. So we're just going to wipe out all of it in a wave, a hard charging wave of under urgency, because that's how it arrived. And we're going to get rid of it. And we run the risk of ending up having a government that is just wildly yo-yoing from one end to the other as everybody wipes out the work that the previous government has done under urgency. And I think there's a real danger to that. And what he's got us here is an incredible, the right love to criticise people like the Greens and Labour and Te Pāti Māori for being ideologically driven, right? Because nobody has ideology, but they'll criticize that, and then when they get given the wheel, do some incredibly ideologically driven stuff from think tanks and the New Zealand Institute and Atlas and Hobson's Pledge and all of these other guys that had their wicked little axes to grind about something. And this is a government that we've seen where they've just ridden roughshod over everything that's come before it and go, slow and steady, and let's not just do some crazy dramatic changes. This government has thrown that out the window. And so, the question is, how do the next lot fix it without setting a precedent that, to be honest, is bad for everyone?